Hey, I'm James from Smoking Dad Barbecue, and today we have an awesome tomahawk steak that we are going to reverse sear on the Kamado Joe. Why am I picking a tomahawk? Well, one of my favorite YouTubers is Pitmaster X. Learned a bunch from him, but he says he doesn't like the tomahawk steak because it looks great, but it never comes out as tender.
But somehow the tomahawk never worked for me. But the problem with them was that they never gave me the right texture. They never gave me the satisfaction that I was looking for.
And I tend to agree unless you do what we're going to do today. So I'm going to show you the method that I use to turn the tomahawk from a great steak into an amazing steak. So what are we working with today? Well, let me show you. We've got this beauty. You can see it's about a 3-inch thick tomahawk steak. It's been dry aged for 7 weeks, and about 2 days before this cook, I'll take you back in time where we salt brined it. And that is the key to turning the tomahawk from a really good looking steak into a really awesome eating steak. So let's get ready, fire up the Kamado Joe. I'll take you back in time, show you how we're gonna prep, and we're gonna get this on and reverse sear it and finish with Inferno mode, my favorite, where we're gonna blast it with some 700-800 degree coals and it'll become just awesome. So let's get this cook on the road. Okay, so today we're going to be cooking this tomahawk reverse sear, and I like to add 1 piece of smoking wood to the bottom grate. So this is a piece of Texas post oak. So I'm going to add that right to the bottom. And then what we'll do is we'll pour on some of our big block charcoal over top. We'll light our fire, and then we'll assemble the slow roller. So I'll take you fast forward while we set up. Okay, so let me show you our setup here. So as you saw in fast forward, we've got a piece of smoking wood on the bottom and added some big block on top. Now you can still see, and it's popping on me. So you can still see the charcoal basket and some air holes on the bottom, so we're getting great airflow. But now that we've got some ash, we're going to go ahead and install the top of our slow roller and adjust the vents to hold about 225 degrees. I'll put the... All right, so we got our grill coming up to temperature. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, I like to overshoot the temperature that we're looking for by about 25 to 50 degrees. So today I want to cook between 225 and 240, so I was more than happy to see 250 to 270 on the dome, which is right where I joined you when we were installing the top of the slow roller. What that does is that just helps get heat in our ceramics, so when we close our vents, we get the true efficiency of the Kamado without, guessing too high or too little with our vent settings. So if you're new to a Kamado cooker, a general rule of thumb for 225 degrees, I'm going to use about 2 fingers width on the bottom and just barely open on the top, maybe about 1/4 of an inch, and we'll see where we're at for making any minor adjustments. So now we're gonna go ahead and get our rub on. The rub that I'm going to use today, I'll put some of the details in the description below. I make it at home. Since we've already salted our tomahawk and it's been dry brining for 2 days, we don't want to add any more salt at this stage or it'll be too salty. And so what I've got is about 30-40% black pepper, about 20 to 30% garlic, a little bit of onion powder, and then we're going to add in some smoked paprika and cayenne to taste. I like lots of that, so we went a little heavy on the cayenne pepper, which gives it this nice red color. So we're just going to mix that really well, and to help it stick, I'm just going to use some duck fat spray as a binder. So I'll bring it a little bit closer so you can see that. We'll go in and insert our meter probe, and then we will be off to the races for our tomahawk cook. All right, our Tomahawk is on and our meter probe is set to look for an internal temperature of about 110 degrees. Now that might sound low if you're used to doing sous vide, but there's a big difference between the reverse sear method and sous vide. If you haven't seen, I actually did a side-by-side where we cooked the same steak, one on sous vide, one on reverse sear. I'll put a link in the description below. You can go check that out. But the main difference is sous vide is holding a temperature, let's say 130 degrees, and let's say you cook for 2 hours, and so the steak slowly comes up to 130 degrees and goes no further. When we're cooking at 225 degrees, 250 degrees, the temperature is much higher than the steak and it's racing towards that. So the steak has some momentum, if you will. So it's like accelerating really hard on the gas pedal of your car and then letting off. For a little second, you still gain a little speed before you slow down. And so I found anywhere in that 110 to 114, depending on how you like your medium rare, is the perfect temperature to aim for. So we're gonna give this likely about an hour or so of smoke before we're getting close to that 110 degrees. The meter will send an alert to my phone when I know to come back out here and join you. And when that happens, we'll go ahead and we'll remove the SloRoller. We're gonna set up for a hot and fast grill. And the time that it will take for the grill to come up to temperature, maybe 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes, will also help serve as the resting period for our steak. So you get two birds with one stone with this setup, so I absolutely love it. Anyways, I'll rejoin you guys in a little bit. If you've never seen the meter probe before, I have an Amazon affiliate link down below for that and the duck fat spray. We don't pay any more. If you find them for less money, please go ahead and buy them. But you guys sometimes ask what are the products that I use and I bought, and I did buy these. These are in the description below. So anyways, let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Otherwise, I'll rejoin you in about an hour when it's time to set up for hot and fast. All right, our steak has hit 110. Let's go ahead, get this off, set it aside, let it rest. And now what we're gonna do is set up for some hot and fast grilling. All right, our Tomahawk is resting while we get our grill up to temperature. It's only been about 5 minutes. We are already at 900 degrees. So that's one of the things I love about Big Block charcoal, is it's so versatile for low and slow and holding steady to you give it some air, she flies. And so as I mentioned earlier about having some momentum, we pulled this off just after I saw 110 on the meter probe alert. And I left the probe in for resting just to see where it would land. And we've ended up at 128 degrees Fahrenheit before it stopped moving ahead. And so that's what that momentum of carry-on cooking has done for this particular steak. It's a large steak, so that definitely holds some heat and had some momentum, which is why you want to pull off, as I said earlier, much sooner than you might think. If you were to go all the way to 128 and then continue to have that carry-on cooking effect, you would end up in the medium well to well done space. So anyways, hope you found that tip helpful. It is now time, we're gonna pull the probe out since we don't want to expose it to those type of temperatures. We're fully cooked, we're ready to go. We just want to focus on our sear now. So I'll bring the camera a little bit closer so you can see some of the sear action on the Kamado Joe riding along at 900 degrees. All right guys, our Tomahawk has rested about 10 minutes and it looks awesome. So as you saw, part of the reason why I left the dome open as much as I could without the flames getting too out of control is our steak is fully cooked. We just want to get that sear, 15-20 seconds, move it around, get that Maillard reaction, that awesome flavor, build up that crust without continuing to cook it at 800-900 degrees with all that heat and the ceramic radiating down. We would continue to cook even further. So as much as possible, I like to leave the dome open And I only really close it if we start to get some fat drippings hitting the coals and flaring up, just so we can settle that down a little bit, which is what you saw here. So we are going to slice into this now and find out how we did. Love this part. Drum roll. Let's find out how good this tomahawk tastes. Alright guys, time for my favorite part. Let's dig in and do our taste test. I'm just going to add a little bit of smoked salt. I have 3 favorite salts. If you're interested, I'll put them in the description below. Also again, Amazon affiliate, don't need to buy them from there. It just helps me out. If you'd like to support the channel, you don't pay any more. The first one that I'm going to use right now is a smoked salt, which I like for a finishing salt. My other favorite finishing salt is a fleur de sel, and I just go, depending on what we're cooking, I like different textures and flavors, and this one's a bit larger, flakier, crunchier, and also that smoked flavor goes great with a tomahawk. The other one that I used is for the dry brine, and I dry brine all my meats with this salt. It's Diamond Kosher Crystal Salt, and so it is great with chicken, with steaks, with ribs, anything like that. So I'll put a link again in the description. But enough talking, let's find out how we did. Perfect edge to edge, medium rare. Oh my goodness. That is so good. I hope you were watching Pitmaster X and that we can redeem the tomahawk steak for you. It takes a little bit more time prep, but that dry brine really helps tackle these thick cuts of steak, and you get the flavor, which they're full of, but also the tenderness of a really, really, really nice steak. And of course, 7 weeks of dry aging never hurts anything. I hope you liked what you saw. If you did, please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to catch future videos. I do new videos every week, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, take care.